Hi everyone. Welcome to the first day of Beginners Week Global Hack Week. I'm very excited to be here with you all with this awesome session that we'll be having today about Figma. But before we get started, I want to hear a bit from you. I'm seeing a lot of excitement on the chat. And also, don't forget to check into this session because that's your way of gaining those points for the weekend and Global Hack Week. So make sure to check in every live session that you attend because that's our way of knowing that you were present and that you want your points claimed for each stream. Hello, I'm seeing many happy messages over here. Tell me that while being back on call with me. Hi, hello, hello, many highs. Oh, it looks like, nope, I'm not muted. Okay, great. Then my name's Jocelyn. I'm a coach here at MLH, and I'll be hosting today's session along with other streams that we'll be having throughout the week. Oh, it's not audible? That's weird. Can you hear me there? Is it audible there? Okay, great. Then I'll just repeat myself. Apparently, I had. Oh, okay. Yeah, then it wasn't my issue. Thank you everyone for double checking that I was audible. Then I won't repeat myself. So yeah, before we get started, I'm going to introduce myself because I didn't prepare one slide of introduction. So my name is Jocelyn. I study robotics and digital systems, which is a mixture between software and hardware, seeing a lot of low-level systems and microcontrollers. Well, embedded microcontrollers. Some of my fun facts: I collect Minecraft bee plushies. I have a collection of over 20 bees by now. And I also like collecting mechanical keyboards. I would say that was paused for a while because I haven't bought a new keyboard in a while. I remember I was collecting them a while back, but yeah, I would say that's something interesting. So if you have any favorite keyboard, drop it in the chat so I can also have a side chat in there with you all. Yeah, mechanical keyboards are nice. Has any of you tried those mechanical keyboards that are divided, the ones that are split in two? I haven't tried it, but they recently told me that it's very hard to use and that you actually require experience and a lot of practice to try those. Okay, that's perfect. Great. So let me start sharing our slides for today. And this session we'll be seeing a lot of things. So we'll be learning about Figma. Then we'll also be signing up for Figma Dev Mode, which is a new tool that you all have access to by being students or being enrolled at university or schooling platform. And then we'll also be doing an activity that you can all do alongside me using Figma, and then we'll convert that design into code, which is what today's session is all about. Last reminder, don't forget to check in on the link that I sent over on the chat so you can claim your points. And don't mind the QR code that's on screen. Um, that's from a past session, so don't mind that one and just go to the link that I sent over on the chat. Great. So before we get started, there are some important things that I wanted to know to be prepared for this session. So we'll be covering this basic outline that's in here. So the first thing that we're going to do is get access to Figma Dev Mode, which is a platform that we will be using, and it's a very helpful tool. Then we'll be learning the designs of Figma Design, which is a Figma tool, one of the 4 tools that they have. And after that, we will design a quick web project that you will be building alongside me on this stream. And in the last 30 minutes, we're going to convert that project into a development mode. And the design will be basically converted into HTML and CSS. And then you'll be able to input that code into your favorite IDE, and you'll be able to see the exact exact same design that we built over on screen. So don't worry if you don't have experience with Figma. Honestly, I'm not very experienced either, but I like using this tool, sometimes. And you don't need experience to be part of this stream, especially not in Figma. We're going to learn everything from the basics, and I'm going to be super clear on what I'm saying. And if you have any questions or any comments, I'll stop by and check on the chat to see how we are all doing. Oh, we have a comment here. When I checked the Figma for developers, you have to sign up for a subscription. Do you know a way around that? Yes, we'll be seeing that today, and I'll be sending out the link for you to sign up as a student so you can claim those benefits as well with the set of tools that we have. Great. So before getting started with all the different tools, we need to do an emphasize on what is Figma. So I'm going to ask on the chat if you have ever heard about what Figma is, or have you ever used Figma for something, and what projects have you built in Figma. So keep your comments rolling on the chat. I'll be highlighting some and trying to see how the chat is in base of experience, so I know how fast or how slow to go during today's stream. My sister used it for creating a website. Oh, that's very cool. No worries, we'll be learning about what is a Figma today. This is the first time I'm using Figma. Oh, that's very exciting. No idea. No worries, we'll get there. Our IX streams are shared on Figma by our design team. Oh, that's very cool. For UI. Great. Then I'm seeing that the chat has a very clear idea or has used somewhere Figma to do prototypes, to create UIs or create fun websites, which is really cool to see as well. All right, so Figma has a set of 4 different tools. So the first tool that Figma has is called Figma Design, which is the most common one. And this is basically used by developers and designers worldwide in order to create collaborative designs and a small workplace where you can use widgets, you can create cards, you can do websites and other products that you can design. Figma Design is your tool for you to prototype, and I would say it's the most common one and the one that we mostly all know. Then we also have FigJam. So FigJam is another tool that Figma has, which is kind of like a digital whiteboard if you want to collaborate, or if you are doing a hackathon project, or you are in a school project and you want people to collaborate in a small diagram and have your notes and have different arrows pointing to different thingies, then FigJam is your tool to use in order to brainstorm and come up with new collaboration ideas. I would say this one is very useful when doing hackathon projects or school projects, because it allows collaboration in a very easily and also pretty way. Then we also have Figma slides. So Figma slides is like your regular Google Slides, Microsoft PowerPoint slides, but with extra design features. So you have your own slides presentation and you can present your intent through designing. And there are different widgets that you can also incorporate in these slides to make it more appealing to your audience. So this actual pitch deck or presentation that I'm sharing with you all, it's built with Figma slides. So you can see how pretty the slides are, and they look way different than your regular Google Slides. And lastly, we have Figma Dev Mode, which is a tool that we will be learning to use today. So Figma Dev Mode is not your usual developer copilot. So as you are designing and building your project, you can switch over to Dev Mode and use code gens to get useful information such as HTML for structure or CSS for styling. So this is very helpful because if you're building a mobile app, you can switch between iOS and Android code gens, and then you'll be able to have both your design and then your code at the same time. So you can see it as a way that you design something very pretty on Figma, but you don't know how to convert that into code, or maybe you are not very advanced, or you don't want to use your regular Copilot tool, then you just click on the Figma Dev Mode button and it will convert automatically your whole design into code that you can then input into VS Code or your favorite IDE. So I would say this is a very helpful tool for people that create pretty designs and then want to translate that design into code natively using Figma. And that's why it's very helpful, even if you are using third party extensions from different frameworks. I don't know, if you want to convert your code to React or Tailwind or HTML or whatever language that you're using, I'm pretty sure Figma will get you covered on that. Then let's move on. So for today, as I already mentioned, we'll be using Figma Design and Dev Mode. So again, these are two tools. Figma Design is a basic tool that Figma provides in order to create beautiful UIs. And then we have Dev Mode, which is the one that we just explained for converting your design into code automatically, which is very pretty and it's very fast to get started with this tool. So some of you might wondering on why learning Figma if maybe I don't want to focus myself on front end or maybe I'm not that into designing. So at some point in your life, you will have to present a pitch or you will have to present something, even if it's not related to developing. It can be a slide deck, it can be a project idea, it can be a product that you're pitching to someone else. And Figma is basically the standard in the industry and it's your go-to collaborative design tool. So learning Figma will open you the doors into making beautiful designs, and Figma is also widely known in various companies, and they even offer jobs for you to create Figma designs for them. Maybe you are super skilled and they want to hire you because you create beautiful designs using Figma. So that's something, and that could also be you by learning about this tool. So to get started with using Figma, sometimes we don't want to go over and start a design from scratch because that might be hard, putting all the cards or all of the titles, all of the templates. Figma has you covered on that. So Figma has different templates that you can use in their library. They have different templates from Apple to Google Design and Simple Design System that are inbuilt templates that you can use and prototype much more easily. So some of those templates that they offer is iOS and iPad OS. So this is a native package from Apple, and when you open up this template, you will find different templates for iPads or iPhones. So if you want to design a mobile app that will be built in an Apple device, then you might want to use this package as well. And then we also have another one called Material Tree Design. So this one is natively created by Google, and it will basically help you out, designers and developers, to build Android apps. So if you want to build an Android app, then you might be wanting to use this template. And lastly, we have the Simple Design System. So this is just your regular design. It has very different UI kit tools to help developers and designs get started faster using pre-built examples and components. So if you don't want to get started from the scratch and you don't want to build an Android app or an Apple app, then you might want to go with this Simple Design System, which is, I would say, it's a standard as to get started with a project for a hackathon or a project that you want to pitch through. Yep, and those are mostly the templates that you can use. But this is also by learning about a skill that you will be using for the future and that it's commonly used on the industry. So you might be wondering on why not using just a ChatGPT prompt in order to create your design into code. So by doing that, I'm pretty sure that you won't always get the design that you were hoping for. So even if you create a super detailed prompt with all of the things that you want to have on your app, it's nearly impossible that the AI will nail it perfectly. So by learning about and designing with Figma, you are assuring yourself 100% that you are seeing the design that you want to convert into code, which will make it much more easier. And yeah, so gaining design experience with Figma will make you a more marketable engineer because you can not only code, but you can also create beautiful designs and you know how to design a mock-up for your application. Or I don't know, if you didn't have enough time in a hackathon to finish your project, maybe you can create a beautiful Figma mock-up, and that can also gain you plenty of points by showing something super pretty to judges that will make them impressed by your work, and you can focus more time on developing the idea rather than spending more time on making, I don't know, a button work or making your animation work. With Figma, you can do that much more easily. So going back a bit in the beginning where people were asking on how to use Figma or where can I use it. So Figma is available basically anywhere. So you can use it either on these three different platforms. So you can use it as a web browser, which is the one that I'm going to be using today. You can also have it on desktop and mobile apps on your computer or on your iPad as well. And there's also a VS Code extension, which is very helpful if you want to use Dev Mode. Then this VS Code extension is very easy to incorporate and convert your design to code or your code to design as well. So these are the three different platforms where you can use Figma. Again, I'll be using the web browser just because it's faster for me to set up and also for you as well. But if you are building more complex designs that will require more time to load, I will strongly recommend you to use the desktop and mobile app because they have more support into loading large designs. I don't know, like a pitch deck that has more than 100 slides, or maybe a really big mock-up of an application, then you want to go and use the desktop one. We have a question here. Should we sign up to Figma to attend this stream? We are getting there. I'll be explaining as well how can you sign up for Figma Dev Mode account. Great, so I think we are ready now to get access to Dev Mode. If there are not any more questions or comments about Figma and the different tools that you can obtain by signing up to Figma, then I'll be moving on into getting access to the tool. So to get access to the tool, which is called Dev Mode, I mean, everyone can create a Figma account, but not everyone can have access to the developer mode, which is specifically for education plans or even professional plans. So this was basically to get access. Let me change the slide here. To get access to Figma Dev Mode, and I'm seeing some questions on the chat of what if you're not a student or what if you're not being a part of this. So Figma Design Dev Mode requires an education or professional enterprise plan to use. Students can get free access through an education plan by visiting this link over here, mlh.link/Figma, that I'm also going to share on the chat as well. Oh, my lights went up. I'm in a room where the lights, well, it's a library and the lights go off if they don't detect movement. Apparently the room thinks that I'm not here, but I'm still here. So I'll try to move and see if the lights come back. So I sent over in there the link to get access to the Dev Mode as a student. Do you get free access as long as you're a student? Yes, that's true. So you want to sign up with your educational account. So if your university or your high school gave you an email for accessing school things, then you want to use that that mail in there. So I'm going to go ahead and give you around 3 minutes for you to sign up for Figma Dev Mode. Yeah, it shouldn't ask you for much. It will basically show you the same that I'm showing on screen. So it will ask you if you are a student, educator, or administrator, and then the type of institution that you attend or work for. And then you just agree and then click on submit. And hopefully you'll be getting an email shortly mentioning that you now have access to the educational plan. If your school's not on the list, I believe mine was also not on the list. You can type the name. It doesn't matter if it's not in the list. I mean, try to look for it, but if it doesn't appear, I'm pretty sure you won't have an issue. I just got my own access. Yay, that's great. Okay, that was pretty fast. Great. What type of institution do you attend or work for? So that depends on you. If you are attending as a student or if you are a teacher or a professor, then you want to select in there the type of institution. If it's university, if it's I don't know, masters or preschool, whatever level of education or institution that you are attending. Okay, I'll keep giving some minutes for you to sign up this. So it might ask you for verification that you are actually a student. So let me try signing up myself to see what it's actually showing. So mlh.link. Oh, I think I mlh.link/Figma. So I actually created my own developer account. You're now verified with Figma for education. I'm going to open it up in an incognito tab so I can see exactly what you're getting and try to help you out as much as I can. Um, yeah, you can't do a student without verification. Yeah, that makes sense. It's similar to GitHub Copilot, where it asks you for an ID or how can I say, or your records. Huh. Okay, so once you get in, you should be seeing something like this. I'm going to give another 2 minutes for you to sign up for developer mode. Also, don't worry if you don't get access right now or if the email gets delayed, you will still be able to do mostly more than half of the workshop that we'll be doing today. So don't pressure yourself a lot for not getting access fast enough. I'm on college from Brazil, but I don't have an edu email. Is it still possible? Yes, it's possible. My email is also not .edu, so you should be fine. You should be fine. Can we just use a normal Figma account? So for most of the workshop, yes, but when we actually convert the design into code, then you won't be able to use the Figma Dev Mode tool because it requires you to have a professional or an educational account. And your regular account for people that just sign up for Figma, it's a free account. Let's see. So people that already have access to the education plan, please drop a message on the chat so I know how many people are getting through the workshop well. So if you already have access to the educational account, please send a message on the chat so I can sense how hackers are doing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if we can get to 10. 8, 9, and 10, 11. Oh, that's very nice. Keep them rolling. Great. So I'm getting a nice sense from this stream that most people are actually getting through. Okay, so for the interest of time, so I don't overstep the other streamer, I'll be getting started with our workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and return to our slides over here. So as I was mentioning, we're first going to go ahead and learn some Figma design basics. So for this section, you won't be needing your educational account. So even free plans can have access to this. So no worries on that. Could you click on go to Figma, please? Want to see how the education account looks like? Yep, I'll be doing that in a short moment. I'll also be logging into my Figma account as well. Great. So before I go to my Figma account, and I'm pretty sure you already have access to this, I'm going to log in into Figma now so you can see um, how it looks like and the things that you need to do. So hopefully you should all be seeing something pretty similar like this. If you have some projects, they'll show up in here. Wow, these are really old. I'm just getting some throwbacks. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Look at this. This looks so lame. But yeah. And then this one is more recent from another hackathon. This one is from GitHub Campus Experts. That's cool. Great. So if you're seeing the same that I'm seeing, then you're in. And if you already managed to create your educational account, then if you click on your name in here, it should show up that you are Edu. Great. So I'll be clicking in here, and I'm going to zoom this to make it a bit bigger. So click over here where it says design, because we will be creating a new design. So go ahead and click on there, and let's just give some time for this to load. I have a question over here. What is Figma? So Figma is a tool to build pretty designs, mockups, brainstorm. Basically, if you want to use or create beautiful UI, then you want to go to Figma in order to create your mockup for your application. If you're building a pitch or doing a hackathon project, then Figma is your go-to design tool. Great. So as I was mentioning in here, we have 3 different sections, and I'm going to go back here. So we have our toolbar, then we have the sidebar, then we have the canvas in the middle, and our toolbar over here. And if I go back, you can see the exact same components. So my toolbar, I would say, is the most important thing, because in there it's going to be all the tools that you can add. If you want to add text, if you want to add a new box, and so on. And in there, you can customize the different component that you will be creating. And then in here is your canvas. So basically where you will be creating, where you will be drawing and doing your beautiful designs. Okay, so just for you to be familiarized. And then to navigate, you can either use your mouse, you can use the hold space, or you can also use your trackpad with 2 fingers in order to move around in the different canvas. You can also zoom in and out in the trackpad, which is just pinching with the fingers or scrolling with your mouse as well. So this is just introductory on how to move in your Figma. I'm not even able to do that. Yeah, my trackpad is weird, but hopefully you should be able to. Or you can also use your Control Plus and Control Minus in order to make it bigger or smaller. But yeah. This is just to navigate through your canvas in order for you to be able to see the whole and complete design. And then on the toolbar, we have different tools. And no worries if you don't understand all of this. For the purpose of this workshop, we'll be using just the move frame, which is this one, move frame, and shape and text. So we'll be using these 4 tools. The move is to select and move objects. Then frame is to create containers. So if you're familiarized with designing in code or even with objects, then you might be familiar with what containers are, which is just basically blocks of different things grouped together. Then we'll also be creating different shapes, such as a rectangle, which is a default shape. And we'll be also adding a text layer to our designs. And then there's other different tools that you can also learn from. Great. So focusing now on the left sidebar, which is basically giving access to the layers, pages, and assets that you have in there. So the left sidebar is just basically to view local components or find components that you want to look for. It shows you the layers that you have in your design, because you can have multiple layers. So you can have your rectangle, then you can have your text on the top, and then you might have an image on the background. So in this left sidebar, you'll be able to see the whole layers that you have, and you can also be able to control them. So the left sidebar, in my case, is this one over here. I know this one is in dark mode, but you can also switch it to light mode if you prefer that configuration. And then here I have the move, I have the frame, and then I also have shape and the text over here. Okay, and lastly, we have the right sidebar. So the right sidebar is mostly where you edit the properties of the object that you are going to be creating. So design is for editing projects, properties is for managing interactions similar to animations. So if you just created a rectangle and you want to make that rectangle orange or pink or added another layer, then you should be going to the right sidebar in order to customize your object in there. You can also change the height, the width, and different other customization tools that you have on your left sidebar, which it is this one on my case and on everyone's case right now because our project is empty, so we have nothing in there to show. Okay, so there are many other tools that you can use. This was just a brief overview of the basics and how the layout is stretched in there. But you can also visit mlh.link/Figma resources if you want to learn more about the different tools that Figma has. So I'm going to send this over on the chat as well, Figma resources. So you can also look it up in there. Okay, so now let's get started with our project. We have 20 minutes, so hopefully this is quite decent time in order to build this cool project. So we will be building a UI card project. So we're going to understand the basics, and we are also going to lastly turn that design into dev mode, which will be our code that we can use in our built-in website using, I don't know, VS Code or any other IDE that you want to use. Great, so the first thing that we're going to do over here is creating a simple text box, and which in our case will be the title of our card. So let's go ahead and create that text box. So I'm going to go over here, click on the small t that's over here down. Then I'm just going to, I don't know, add it in here, any place. And I'm going to create, I'm going to call it my hackathon project. You can place any title in here. And for styling purposes, I'm going to set this to bold. And I'm also going to set the font size to 24. So I'm here, if I click on the appearance, let me see. Let me click in here. Oh, there it is. I'm actually also learning with you. Okay, so I'm going to change this to 24, and now it's bigger. And the I'm going to change this to bold, so it can be much more bigger. And I'm going to make this like this, so now it's complete. So hopefully you should all be seeing this title. Again, you click on the T and then you click on the box, and then you can change the size and the bold or regular text over here on your right sidebar. Great, so I'll go back to see our next instructions. So the next thing that we are going to do is to create our rectangle. So we're going to place this rectangle above the title text to represent the card's portrait image. And then sooner, we're going to add an image in there. So the color doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go over here and create a rectangle over there. Just a simple rectangle. You don't need to do much more. Just create your rectangle. It doesn't matter which color it has. So just go ahead and create your rectangle. So as for now, we have one title and we have one rectangle. Okay, we're doing great. And the next thing that we're going to do is create another text box, but this one will be set up for the description of our title, whatever thing that you want to place in there. Okay, so let's go back and add another text. So So text over here. And then I'm going to type in here, this is a small description of my project. And for the text, in our case, I'm going to change it to font size 16 or something smaller. So let me go back over here and I'm going to change this to 16. Oh wait, I have to actually select this. So 16, and then I don't want this to be bold, so I'm going to leave it as regular over there. And in our case right now, the sizing, it doesn't matter much, so I just want this description to be smaller. And after setting the size to 16 and leaving it into regular, we're going to do something else. So we're going to go ahead and click on layout by having clicked in here. So click on your description, and then in here you should have a section called layout. And we want to select this middle option, which is called auto hide, to prevent the text from extending horizontally to the right. So make sure to click on this one and you'll see how your design changes. Okay, so remember, change your size, change the font. Instead of being bold, you want it to be the regular font size, and then click in layout, auto hide, which is the middle button over here. Great. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we now are going to add our image over here. So in order to add our image, we're going to go back. I'm going to go ahead and click on the rectangle, and we need to follow 3 important steps. So once you click on the rectangle, in the right sidebar, there's going to be a section that's called fill. And then in the fill section, there's a color code in here, right? So in there, instead of having a color, I want to click on the image icon. I'm not seeing that. Click on here. And then click on here, image icon. I'll just close this. So image icon over here, and then upload from computer, and just add any image in there. I'm actually going to try to see if I have an image. Oh, I have one. Okay, I open my image and there it is. So now that we added an image, we already uploaded to the computer in there. There it is. So you can either click on fit if your image is of a different height and width. I'm just going to leave it default on fill and just close this. So hopefully by now it should look something like this. Have your image, your title, and then your description over here, which would mean that you are good to go. Okay, remember that if you have any questions or I'm going too fast or you have any comment, you can drop it on the chat so I can see it. I'm seeing the chat right now, so I'll be sure to help you out. Great, and now the next thing that we're going to do in here, it says create a frame. So you can either create a frame using these shortcuts in here, or you can just click on this one. So I'll try going with the shortcut, which is Ctrl-Alt-G. So let me go ahead and try that, or you can also click on this one as well. So Ctrl-Alt-G. I'm not seeing anything. Let me see again. Let's just click on the frame. I think that's easier for all of us. So just click on the frame over here and I'll just select all of the things that I have in here. There we go. So it will look kind of weird because now it's white and it has different things, but now I have my customization section here that's called frame. So after creating all of the individual card components, which we already did, we're going to need to group that together, which is what I just did using the frame. So click on frame and then just select everything that you have in there. And then in order to do something about this, so let me go back to the slide so you can also see that. We want to use auto layout. So it says Shift A. I believe we can also do that from here. Let me see. Hopefully not. Vertical, horizontal, grid, freeform, layout guide. Nope, we don't want that. Let's try it with Control A as it says. Oh, it actually changed something. So you can try with Control A in order to do the auto layout. But I'm not seeing my things in here. Hopefully they will appear in a while. Let's see if we can get it back. So once we make that frame, we already select the frame, and you can also do it from here under the layout section. I mean, that's what it says. Layout, auto hide, fix sides. We already did that. Did we? Want to select my frame, layout, look aspect, resize to fit. Oh, there it is. Use auto layout. There it is. And the next thing that we're going to do is, well, the auto layout is just basically for you to fix everything nicely instead of the frame going out of bounds. And it's also helpful for, your application to dynamically render in case that you want to add it on the code as well. Okay, so we're going to go to the next section over here, which is now adding styling and all the different things that we want to have on our card as well. I'm not sure still why this is going. Let me try to change this. I'm actually not an expert on Figma, so I'm actually doing this live with you as well. And I don't want this to show. Like I want my thingies to pop up. Send bring to front, probably. Nope. Okay, I'll just do control. I want to return to my original nice card that I had. Let me see. There it is. So I don't know why it showed why it was on the background. Oh, because of the color, probably. Yep. Let me change it to transparent. There we go. And I'll do the auto layout, frame, Control A. There it is. Or you can also click on this one as well. Great. Yay. Oh yeah. Thank you everyone for changing the color. Yeah, I needed to do the background transparent. Okay, so now we can move on to doing the framing thing to add styling. So let's just do the border stroke and also make the corners be round. So let me go back and select our frame over here again. So for this one, we want to also hog all of the components. So under the right sidebar, we're going to do several things over here. So the first thing that we're going to do is under the auto layout section, which is this one, we're going to click set the height to hog, which is this one over here, hog contents, which is already set. Nice. And then the second thing that we're going to do is we want to fill the object if it's asked. In my case, there's no need to fill the object because it's already looking nicely. And then the second thing that we want to do is change our layout to be vertical. So let me see, where's the layout? Layout guide. Nope, not this one. Horizontal, vertical. We already have it vertical, so that's nice. And we also want to do alignment to the left. So this one. There it is. So alignment to left, hug components, and you want to do the vertical direction over here. And then the second thing that we're going to do is the gap. So the gap over here, we're going to set it to 6 to have more space in between the different components. And then the second thing that we're going to do is add some padding. So the padding, we're going to set it to 24. There it is. And this one, 24 again. Okay, so 24 and 24 on both sides. And now in the appearance section over here, we're going to add a corner radius, and the corner radius, we'll set it up to 16. So 16, there it is. And then in the stroke section over here, we're going to do it, we're going to leave it on black, but we're going to also set the stroke width to 2. So let me see, I don't know if I should change it to another color. Probably just black, mostly. I'm going to do this to 2. Oh, it's in percentage. Well, I'll just leave it 100%, and you can see actually something in here. Width to 2. There it is. Great. So those are the things that we need to do for this card thingy over here, which I don't like how these things are set up. This is too big. Let me just, okay, there it is. Okay, then the next thing that we're going to do, let me move on, is create a large frame, because now we're going to duplicate those cards and make more cards, hopefully. So what we're going to do is create a large frame. So again, another frame, and let me do this smaller. And I'm just going to do a large frame over here. And again, thanks to all the people, I'm going to change the feeling of my frame and do it transparent over here. There it is. And now that we have everything in there, and we created our large frame around the card that we just made, now we're going to add more components inside. So again, we also need to add auto layout in this one, which is a property that we recently added on the other frame. So auto layout again, which was already added. And then the next thing that we're going to do is now we're going to edit our auto layout properties to do now a sort of a mimic of the website that we want to do. So on the auto layout properties, we're going to set the layout to wrap. So which is basically, let me see, freeform, vertical. Where is the wrap? There it is. So we set that to wrap, and then the alignment to top left, which is this one. And then the other thing that we're going to do is the gap, we're going to set it to 32. And the next thing is that we want to add horizontal and vertical padding of 60, 64, doesn't matter too much. There it is. Great. And then the next thing that we're going to do is to duplicate some cards to fill up the page. So let's just start doing Control-C and Control-V to start pasting our cards in here. So pasting cards. I'm going to do, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm going to do around 3 cards, like that's fine. So just duplicate your card so you can have more sections of this. Great. So now that we all have the 3 cards, or even if you want to have more cards, now we're going to do into the dev mode part, which is the part where I actually know this stuff well. So let me go to the dev mode part. We already did all of this. Okay, so for the UI card project, it's very important because now we will be converting our design into code, which will be actually very interesting to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to select the frame over here into the dev mode section, which is this one that we have over here, dev mode. Okay, so ideally, if I click on this, then it will change everything. So I already clicked on dev mode, and you can see how my layout changed, more of a now developer form. So I have my code settings in here, I have the different plugins, and I also have MCP server, which is actually new. So what we're going to do is that we're going to switch to dev mode. So we already toggled the button, and now we're going to go to the toolbar, and we're going to select the frame. That's our code that we want to convert. And on the right sidebar, we're seeing that it's set to CSS. So make sure to have CSS over here, which is the one that we want to use. And to view the properties, you can also select on properties in case you want to see what's in there, which is actually when you actually select in here, then you can see all of the properties that you have. You can see your code and so on. So there's some question, lost track from the mainframe. So after setting up the mainframe, you need to click on the button in here below that's called dev mode. If you're not seeing that button, that means that you don't have access to the educational account. Yep, so that's basically it. I'm going to go just a bit faster. There's not much missing because then we have another stream next. Let me see, we have another stream next. Oh, it was actually canceled, the get good with the git. So I can slow down a bit. Okay, so yeah, after making the frame, which is in here, you need to click over here down where it says dev mode. And now your layout should completely have changed, and you will be able to see, inspect the different plugins and different coding sections in here. And if you click on the frame, you should be able to see different code configurations that you can actually change in order to make it differently. For now, the only thing that you should know is that the language should be set up to CSS in order to continue. Will there be any makeup for the GitHub? I was kind of looking forward to it. I'm not sure, honestly. Unfortunately, that was going to be canceled. Another coach was going to give that, but I'm pretty sure they will find a way to accommodate another similar workshop as well. Yep. Apologies from the MLH team on that as well. Great. So after having the code in here, let me go back to the slides so we can follow directly. So we already switched to dev mode by toggling the dev mode, which is what I already did in here. When will this be ending? In about 5 minutes, we will wrap up. We're almost there. We are now using the Figma Dev Mode. And we want to select the frame that's RFD, which is just basically the code that we want to complete, which is the frame 2 in our case. And then the next thing that we want to do is select code to toggle the different properties. So if I go here and do that, and then I have my properties in there as well. Frame 2, and I have my properties in there. Okay, and then the next thing, open the code gen, drop down top right, and select Swift UI to iOS. So let's go back in here. Let me click on this. And I'm going to change this to iOS Swift UI. There it is. And then the next thing that we're going to do is in the code gen dropdown, select the third-party code gen, Tailwind, React. In our case, we used Swift UI, so that's a third-party one. And then you can actually copy the code that's down there in there, and you can use it anywhere that you want. So this is actually the code that you can copy in order to make your code work in another project as well. Yep. So that's pretty much it. So this is a code that you obtain. You can change it to any language that you want. So if we leave it to CSS, you can have your CSS layout and also the background. And you can also export this. So if you want to export this, I don't know, to whatever PDF or whatever thing that you want to export it to, you can also do that as well. And you can also open this in VS Code in case that you want to continue editing that as well. And yeah, there's many things that you can do. You can change it to any language that you want. You can also install new plugins. For example, if you want to use Flutter, then you can also do Figma to code with Flutter as well. Okay, so basically, that was pretty much it. At the first part of the stream, it was just basically creating the cards component. And then the thing that you want to do is now have the code, which is basically the one that you can input into different IDEs. If you want to do it on VS Code, you can go ahead and do it as well. Personally, I would recommend for you to click on this button that says, where was it? Oh no, this one was inspect, and then you can open in VS Code. So I would recommend that one because it will natively open your Figma design on VS Code. I can actually try that right now. Let me see. And it will open me the VS Code, and let me change it. It's actually loading, and I will show you the VS Code once it continues loading. But yeah, you can open it on VS Code and continue editing your project in there, which it's really cool in my opinion. But yeah, you can scan this QR code in order to tell us what you think about the Figma workshop. It's not about it's more about giving us feedback in case that you want to see something in there that will be nice as well. Okay, so that was all from my side. Honestly, I would consider myself not super expert on Figma, and you are probably realizing that now. I would say my strong is backend and LLMs as always, as you could have seen me on previous streams. I will be giving 2 more streams focused on assembly language. So if you want to learn how to code in assembly, focus on robotics, then make sure to join my stream tomorrow. You'll be able to find it on the Global Hack Week schedule as well. So, yep, thank you everyone for attending this Figma session. And then I'll be seeing you again tomorrow for that Assembly 101 workshop where we will be learning how this very difficult language called assembly and how can you use it for robotics projects. All right. Bye, everyone. And I'll see you again in a while for a mini game that we will be having. And then I'll see you tomorrow for the assembly as well. Bye, everyone.